we go. And I'll add a
For
little
some
post-processing flow.
for some reason, the stream just like kind of stops. I think it's you're using too much power or something, but it's like possibly. I'm not sure because it's done it twice so far. Like
Yeah, I wonder if it's the
it's
net.
back online now, but it just drops for like probably
It could be
30
the
seconds.
net render or something. Let me go and take the net render off and see if that's it. Um,
So powerful.
it's too powerful. Here, I'll just take this off right now. So I think it might. Is it doing it again?
No, it's good right now.
Okay, sorry guys.
But I lose you on Google Hangouts too, so
Oh, you did? Do you
yeah.
need me to save or show the screen again?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Like you just pop out and then pop back in.
Technical difficulties, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, we're gonna probably have a couple more. You know why? Because I'm using a PC and they don't work. So, yeah, I'll hate. I'll always hate. This is how I am. I'm a Mac user forever because I like to just turn my computer on and let it. Like, I don't want to be like trying to understand how the BIOS works. I don't want to do that. I just
Yeah.
want it to work. I just talking shit though. I use it.
I
I use it all the time. So, um,
acceptable.
so what I have in my material here, so this is like my main material that I'm using. And I'm using it on this plane object. What I've done is, if let me just get off this camera right here. Oops, I'll go back into here. If you go into, if I hit my middle mouse button in the view section right here, I can go to see front, right, and top views, and I can go and see where I'm at. Kind of just I usually do this quite a bit just to help me see where I'm at. So if I take the camera out, see where we're at. So I'm over here. We go. This is where we are. We're looking through here. We're looking at this shot right here, and the reason why I want to look at this is because I just kind of want to see where my lights are. And the cool thing about Octane 2 is that it will allow you to adjust your lights on the fly. So if I make my light source really small, the more powerful, the shadows will be more intense. If I want that to be, go back into my light tag, adjust the power, bring that up. You can do all kinds of stuff, but if I want more intensity, I can do that kind of stuff. Again, there's just so much. When I do this stuff, I'm just really just playing around and having a lot of fun. But what this plane object is it's the same size as the Photoshop document. So it's 12,000 centimeters by 17,765. So if we go into here and yeah, see it's the same size of this. So when I go back into here, and you can size it down if you want, it doesn't have to be this big. But the reason why I have it so big and to match it up is because I don't want the aspect ratio to squish it or make the image messed up or anything. So, and this kind of helps
Another
me. Go ahead.
another question for
Mm-hmm.
you says, since time is a pretty key point when it comes to work, how would you schedule your day so you can get more work done while still having some time to relax? So if you could go into
I don't
some stuff.
relax. I don't know how to answer that. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't. Not right now. I'm working a lot. I mean, I very rarely do relax. But if I'm not doing client stuff, then I'm doing personal stuff. If I'm not doing client stuff, I'm working on Lost Boy. If I'm not working on Lost Boy, I'm doing my own personal stuff. If I'm not doing personal stuff, then I'm working on, just hanging out with the family, or I'm running Learn Squared, or going to jujitsu or whatever. So honestly, I'm a horrible example of balance in my life. I don't have it. I should be a lot better at it, but I don't. I'm just really quite busy, and I think right now in my life and this time of my life, I'm just really focused on getting shit done, basically. So, and that's just kind of how it is right now. So it's not the best, but it is. Yeah, it is. It is what it is. So. Yeah, I'm sorry. I wish I had a better answer for that. I'm being completely transparent though and honest. It's just right now I'm doing a lot of stuff. I got a lot of projects going on and a lot of things, a lot of client work and stuff that's happening that is taking quite a bit of time and effort to do. So yeah, it's a big year though, guys. Like 2017, there's gonna be some huge things to be dropped. I'm really excited. There's some big projects that really it's helping my evolution quite a bit. So
That's awesome.
One thing I would be like a huge suggestion for everybody is when you're making lenses and cameras, you're choosing your cameras and your lenses in 3D. One of the things that drives me that like batshit crazy, and it's just me maybe, but is when people they use the wrong lenses and cameras. And when you're in 3D, your default when you make a new camera. So I'm just gonna make a new camera. The default spec is 36 mil, and this is for. Let me just go in here and show you guys the difference here. So if I'm in here, see the difference between the lens? Like this is a 135 telephoto. And the reason why I use a 135 telephoto here is because it feels more isometric, and that's the view that I'm trying to get. And when I mean isometric, for those that are like new to all this stuff, is I want it to feel more flat with some dimensionality to it. And so I want it to feel larger. Whereas if I go into like a 35 mil, it's a very wide lens and it makes it quite small. Let me go in here and um, unless I'm like right up on it, but if my angle's like this, it's something that I see like a lot. I don't know what it is. People just don't change the lens or something. Don't be that, please. Like I beg you, all my students, don't do that. um, and I'm just being a bitch. I know I'm nagging, but it's something that could really. It's like a detail that could really help your work feel more real. I mean, some films and things they definitely they utilize the wide lens, and it's but I believe the 50 mil. So if you go into your camera tag or your camera, and if you change it to 50, 50 is I believe is naturally to the human eye. It's kind of the spectrum and the way that the human eye works. And then if you go into like an 80, which is considered like a portrait lens, it starts to become less distorted, and the achievable reality that you're trying to make is really going to come through. So it's just something to think about. And here I'm just moving around. The thing I love about Cinema 4D is its ability to the navigation. I really love it. I used to use the number 3 key, and then 1 key to move around like this, and 3 key to I don't know, what is this called? Like orbit, I guess. This orbit? I don't know, pivot, whatever. 3D stuff. I self-taught all this stuff, so I'm completely on my own with this kind of stuff. It's mostly from friends and things that I find along the way. And I just go along and try to find new things. And there's so much great resources out there and technology and things that are out for people to get access to. So right now, like I just set up this new camera. I set it at an 80. I can go up to 135 if I want, and then really start to flatten it out. But I'll keep it at an 80. That's fine, an 80 mil portrait. You can change also from photo. You can go to movie to mimic that sensor size as well. But we can go back to photo as well, as this will mimic the sensor size right here, so you can see that. Oops, get out of here a little bit. Zoom, you could do it. Okay. So yeah, let me get out of here, and I can show you some of the materials and stuff too. And so what I was trying to explain with all this stuff is, you take what I'm teaching you and the stuff that I'm going to teach in the next class and stuff, and then you're going to be able to learn these things. And these are all the fundamentals, like when we go into here and I'm explaining how I design and build stuff off with a grid, it's taking all these assets and putting them together and then having something interesting to show for it. And then when you go to this, it just elevates it and takes it into a whole nother realm. It's something you want to constantly be aware of when you're making things. So, because then you're going to have, like doing this was like this weird anomaly that I wasn't really anticipating, but by playing with it and having fun on odd hours, like if you think that you're busier than me, I will bet you're not. And if you're not making time to, explore, then you're not making time to grow. And it's really important. Even myself, with how busy I am, I'm constantly trying to explore things and stuff. So, going on a tangent here, but if I go to my camera tag, and inside of Octane, you will need to have the Octane camera tag on there. I always set my response to linear. It's much more realistic. I'm gonna kick this back out and see. The linear camera, linear response is usually mimics and represents light much better. A lot of the default stuff is, no, it's weird. It's like it doesn't look real. It's weird to me. So I'm going here. I need to enable it. Sorry. Make sure that's enabled. And so I'm going to go and raise the gamma here. Pull this down. I'm going to lower the power of my light because it's just overpowering the scene. Because I'm getting all this like artifacts in the reds. I'm going to go back into my camera tag and adjust the gamma up a little bit and find that sweet spot where I'm getting all the information that I want, but not blowing things out. I still want contrast in it, but again, this is all coming down to like the nitpicky little things that will make your image better than the next person. So you can go into post-processing, add all this crazy glow. Yeah, don't get too crazy with the glow. So whatever, these are all just my personal opinions. So yeah, and drop this down. But when you're doing this, you should go and explore. And for the person that was asking, like, about using Octane or using Cinema 4D, my best advice to you is just like I did, is just go out there and try it out and have fun and see what happens from it and see what comes of your explorations, because you never know what you're going to get out of it. Honestly, you're going to have just go there and try it, fail. I've been messing with Cinema 4D for like 5 or 6 years now. And I'm just now starting to actually take it pretty serious. This is like my first time really getting in there and taking it seriously, because of the school, and also just because the competitiveness of making things is getting stronger, which is awesome. So it's keeping me on my toes, making me try to be better. So move this around. But this is pretty much how I'm doing it, guys. So you got to have good design basics. You have to have good design assets, and then those assets, once you bring them into something like this, it really makes it quite unique. And so if we go into like the editor, the material editor, and displacement, I can on the fly I can raise the displacement. See, I can raise it up, and then I can also drop it down to add that like really finite detail. And then if it's too glossy, I'll just go into like the specular, drop it down, and then just slowly play with this stuff until it looks right. Right now the image is like too saturated, so I'm going to go back into my camera. I'm going to drop the saturation.
Ready.
Shut up, John. You're not the boss of me.
If you're ready.
Yeah, what's up, dude? What is it? What do you need, people?
Octane is expensive.
It's not that bad. Arnold's expensive.
I need a powerful machine, and as a student
that's true.
who likes 3D, it discourages me to explore into 3D.
Yeah.
Do you have any recommendations where I should start?
Totally, you're 100% right. There's a really fine market for people that can A, afford it, and then B, like utilize it properly, because it's one thing to have Octane. I mean, Octane, the plugin, is not that bad. I think it's like $400, which is for a tool that you're going to use for quite some time. And hopefully what your goal is with this stuff is you invest just like you would, like a banker would money. You invest in yourself, and then you're supposed to get a return on that investment. It's the same kind of principle. So, for me, in my personal standpoint, you can get some really good renders out of the standard renderer. There's definitely that ability to make great things out of the standard renderer. I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in it anymore, because I've gone to the dark side with Octane, and I'm in like this completely different realm. And I hear you, like when I was talking to Mike, when I was talking to people about all this stuff, he was just like, yeah, like once you get into this realm and you subscribe to it, it's like there's no going back. It's hard to think about going back or even wanting to go back, because it's going to provide that. So, there's also like, if you don't want to use Cinema 4D, Cinema 4D is really expensive. So if you don't want to use Cinema 4D, there's also like, I believe, Lightwave, I think, or Blender. I think those are free, I believe. And you get some really good results with that I've seen. I've never used it, but I've seen some really good results with that. So you can start there. Or like, I think with After Effects, you get Cinema 4D Lite. C4D Lite, which is really great. So if you have like the monthly student plan for the Adobe suite, I think it's like $50 or $30 or something a month. You get all the Adobe stuff, and then you get like an entry point to Cinema, which you can then test out and see how it works. But yeah, I would recommend. I mean, if you're a student and you're having a hard time with this, I completely understand, and it's really difficult. But once you start to evolve and become, the artist that you're after, whatever that is, and if that entails like, really focusing on your work and making the best out of your work and all that kind of stuff, then you're going to have to invest, the money to get the stuff that you need, basically. And that's just it's a whole nother thing. And honestly, I think I've spent, I don't know, way too much money. It's around, well, I had to also put an AC in my office, which is very expensive too. It was like $5,000 to put an AC in my office. So yeah, it's very stressful, but it's all part of, me continuing to work, and I work from home too. So um, yeah, I understand that it's hard. So I don't have any other options though. For me, I think standard renderer and Cinema 4D Lite that comes with After Effects is good, and you can get yourself familiar at least with the program. And then once you find out whether it speaks to you and it works for you, then you can do that. If it doesn't, then I would say don't use it. Not until you're ready for it, because you want to regret that. So
Cool.
yeesh. See, I'm gonna go back into here. So in my so the material for this one, let's see, which one is this one? I'm just gonna throw some different materials on this one and just see what happens. Because when I play with these files, I'll just kind of randomly make a bunch of stuff, and I'll see, oh, okay, that's interesting, that looks cool, or no, that looks horrible, that doesn't look good. So that one doesn't even have any attributes to it. So I'm gonna drop back that one material that was here. I'm gonna take this material and copy and paste it, and I'm gonna try something really. This is me just exploring, so prepared to see me fail, and that's cool though. So I'm gonna copy and paste my plane. I'm gonna bring it back into the scene. And this is basically how I work when I think about like trying new things. What I want to do is like create another plane that's offset from the other one. Oops, let's see, grab this one. I want to move it a little bit off so I have some Z depth. And then this material, which would be, let's see, this one. That one is the same. Okay, so what I want to do is change this one. I'll call this 3. I'll put this material here. And then in the material editor, maybe what I'll do is I'll set an opacity and see if I can play with some weird stuff here. I'll put that as my opacity. Actually, and this is like, again, as I explain it, it sounds really weird the way I'm approaching these things, but because it's 3D, I'm just going to try and break as much things as I can. I'm going to make some weird stuff happen and then just see what comes of it. I'm going to take this right here, I'm going to put that as my diffuse, and I'm going to resend the render. Let me go back to my camera and see what I got here. What I should have is I should have two planes, one that has a material that should have like, yeah, there it is, cool. So you can kind of see that double up right there that's happening. Let me go into my opacity here and lower this down a little bit and maybe change it to maybe this one. See if I get a different setup here.
Somebody asked, what would happen if you had your displacement map, but then used a camera to project the diffuse onto the geo?
That'd be cool.
I wonder if this would produce any interesting effects.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. This is when you're supposed to play and explore and try weird things, And I don't know. There's all kinds of weird stuff that could happen from that. Right now I'm trying to do this. Let me see if I can get some results from it. Yeah, so let me grab this one. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this plane. I'm going to bring it back into my scene, and then I'm going to make another material, and I'm going to change the opacity to something else, just some random thing. And again, I can't stress it enough, you need to have good original assets in the beginning, because if you don't have good assets, you're just playing with poop, basically. So to say it, I'm trying to be as poetic as possible, and you don't want to play with poop, okay guys? We want to play with the best stuff possible.
There it is.
Whoop, there it is. Okay. So let's see, I'm sending the render out again. So now if we look in this file, so let's go here, have this like 3-layered texture, and it's lit, and it has some interesting layering. And let's say like you wanted to make some really interesting like motion graphics or something, you could take all this and make an image sequence or whatever, or like somebody was talking about, like, take this stuff and like project it on the material itself. You can definitely do that. There's so many different things. You can change the displacement. The displacement could be activated or changing. There's a lot of weird stuff that you could do. with this diffuse, I'm going to change this and see if I can change it to like to this one and see what happens. But what I wanted to do is just have this like multi-step layered thing that's happening, you know, so. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. So go ahead.
Next question says, is it possible to do some frames like this? Obviously not as sharp and texture rich with just Photoshop or even Cinema 4D. My MacBook is old and slow for heavy 3D.
Yeah, in the data design class, I designed that class around people like myself and yourself that don't have powerful machines but want to make beautiful imagery. Yeah, it's definitely possible. And in that class, I really break it down. So in a way where you can make stuff that doesn't involve you having to have all this stuff. The reason why I'm showing you guys this stuff is there was like this huge demand. Once I was sharing these things, I was like, oh, a lot of people were like, hey, how did you do that? So I'm kind of sharing this stuff with you. But don't feel like if you don't have access to like some crazy, Scrooge McDuck PC, you're not going to be successful with what you're making. You can definitely, for almost my entire career, I've been using mostly just Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator, really, to be completely honest. And most of my career has been that, and then just working with other people, So, yeah, it's been really, it's more or less just how you're using the resources that you have and how you're putting them to what you need them to be and stuff. So hopefully that makes sense. But you can definitely, it's more or less just how you do it. And in my other class, you'll be able to see, like, I explain it in a way that you don't need to have to Octane, because when I do my class, I actually don't use Octane at all in there. I just explain how you use the standard renderer to make a bunch of assets that you then bring into Photoshop. So it's designed for you, dude, or dudette, whoever you are out there. So yeah, I can't tell. I don't know your gender, so I don't think I should know either. See. Tell me.
Next question says, does Octane give you really live camera settings? For example, if you change the aperture, will it change the DOF?
Yeah, I'll show you right now. Yeah, I mean, Octane is pretty damn live. It's ready to go when you are. So like if I go into here, let me just change my opacity. I want to try a different mask. And right now I'm just playing with like trying to break things and seeing what happens from it, because I'm trying to make it an interesting image. But let me go into my camera. So anything in your camera, you can it's basically live, and then you can move your lights around as well, which is really cool. But let's go into, let me get a closer look at this so we can see this a little better. It's a pretty interesting ghosting effect that's happening. Let me see if I can. Trying to find a good angle to get the depth of focus to look right. Might as well be sponsored by freaking Otoy, man. What the heck? Hey, Otoy. Give me the goods, people. Yeah, so let me go in here. So I'm just gonna zoom out a little bit. So we're gonna use this camera basically as our focal spot. Let me just remove these two, get these out of here, because it's gonna affect, and we can't really see the effect that you're asking about. So I have my original plane, and if let's say I want this to like have active depth of focus fall off. So let's see, I'll go in here, bring this right here. So what I do is I'll go and grab this right here, my camera tag, and I'll go into thin lens and take off this. And so I go to like, I don't know, 500 aperture, adjust the aperture up. And this is like a big image, so you just kind of have to adjust it to your scale. So if I go to like 5,000, you'll be able to see here in a minute, should be active. And then I can adjust my focus point. So if I want this to be focused and this to be off, I'll just put that there. Again, as I said, this scene is really quite large, so being able to find how to get the fall off to work well is going to take a little bit of playing with it. And see how like when I zoom in close, the fall off, the lens itself defocuses, and here it is. So now I'm going in here, and you see like how it's actively defocusing the background. And that's what's kind of cool is like it gives your image like, you know, a real world feel. And I'm just using graphic design elements, and now it makes it feel pretty real. And if I can go and really dial in my camera settings and the gamma and all that stuff and get everything looking really well, then I'll be able to have like pretty damn good render. And the cool thing is, like, you know, the render that you get out of here, it won't even have much post to it, but because of the post processing and all this stuff, glare, blur, all these things, you're going to get some really great renders that won't require a ton of post work because of Octane's ability to really render out stuff very well from the render itself too. So, which is great because, man, I don't want to be taking all my stuff and then going and doing all kinds of post work on it as well on top of it. So it just helps out a lot. So, but you got to really have the eye for what you're after though, and you know what you're trying to explore and the things that you're wanting to do. So, but yeah, it's in the thin lens. So what's up? This is like a massive file. So my camera is just having a hard time pulling it off. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how it works. It's pretty awesome. I mean, it works damn well. So.
This next one says, "Hey Ash, first of all, thanks for creating such an amazing platform."
Yeah, thanks to everybody else too. Thanks to John. John's helping. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I took the UI design course a few months ago, and by the end of the course, I got a job offer from a game studio.
Boom.
It's amazing.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Also, I'm getting freelance UI jobs as well. People are asking what's my day rate, and I'm a student, and I'm just getting started as a freelance UI artist. Can you tell me how much should I charge? I have an idea.
Yeah.
But about it. Also, what should be the work hours?
Awesome. You know, this is great, and I appreciate this. I hope Andrew's here actually, because we're actually working on designing a business course that we're going to give to you guys, but it's basically going to cover a lot of this stuff. I'll go and give you advice now, but it's just letting you guys all know, because these are things that need to be talked about that aren't necessarily, and we're just going to use the platform and educate you guys along the way as we know it. And these are, when I give you this advice, just keep in mind it's coming from me. I've been working in this industry for about 6 years now. I started off, you know, the industry changed quite a bit since I've started. So just keep all these things in mind. So if you're a student, and to help me understand like how powerful you would be for a team, are you just doing concepts? Are you doing Photoshop stuff? Are you doing InDesign, Illustrator? Are you doing the animations itself? Are you doing 3D? What is it exactly? Because what I'm asking for is like how many people would you basically do in your job? Like, oh, I do animating and 3D and compositing and blah blah blah. Like, okay, that means you're doing like 5 roles or whatever, but what is it that you're doing? If you're just doing concepts and design, that's very valuable too. But if you're really good, then you know you got to price yourself accordingly too. So, is it a large studio too? I mean, a lot of these factors kind of weigh in on it, you know. So, and what I would suggest is, and I think I broke it down in our last meeting when we did it, is and John, don't let me forget. There's like a bunch of stuff I was supposed to talk about earlier too. Oh, we talked about the hourly thing too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're gonna want to do don't let me forget, John, to talk about those things. But you're gonna want to definitely do a day rate if anything. And I think, did he respond to any feedback with the questions I was asking?
Not yet.
No. Okay. Okay. Let me try to explain this from my perspective. And again, I could be completely wrong. I'm like in a 2 percentile. What I do, it's like I do a lot of stuff, and I'm in like this weird realm where I don't necessarily, I don't adhere to the rest of the world's rules because I've created my own thing. So I'm just trying to get my brush. I'm in my PC. I don't use the PC much for this stuff, but
I think you said I'm doing design and motion. I'm not sure if that was relative.
Yeah, no, you're doing both of those. Okay, so if you're a student, and you don't have a lot of work behind you, which is like experience, producers and stuff, they're going to want to see that. That's kind of important because it just means that like when the project really starts to hit hard, you're not going to run away. So, for students, I'd say, you know, when I first started out, I think it was doing design for pitches, and I think I was getting paid $350 a day. I think that was it. That was what I was getting paid in the beginning. I can't remember.
Hmm.
Now I'm all the way up into like the 1,000 a day. That's what I charge usually. It's expensive, right? People are like, damn, it's a lot of money. But I've got all these years behind me. I've got a lot of experience, and I know how to run teams and all kinds of stuff. And the job that I do takes over a lot of people's jobs, so I'm able to do it, and it's not a big deal. And that's actually, you get up to sometimes you get up into like the 1.5K. So look at the spectrum between me and you. So if you're at 350 a day, an average is usually like if you're doing animation and design, if you're doing a really good job, an average that I know of is about 500 a day, from what I understand. So about 500 a day. Um, yeah, I'm being transparent with you guys. I don't need to hold this stuff from you guys. You guys are the homies. So it's good information for you guys to know too. And I'm hoping that it'll keep you guys in the know. But for me, from what I understand, from what I do, is the ceilings are right around 1.5K a day. I can go into directing. Directing is a whole different market, and this is more like design and all that kind of stuff. What I do normally, directing it gets really crazy. You can go for anywhere from 5 to 20K a day. That's boss money. But that's you're only working maybe 3 to 5 days of directing or something, and these are like the high up people, So, and this is like feature film stuff that I'm talking about, bigger budget stuff. So, but yeah, I would say like if you would probably be, depending on how good you are, I would say you'd be anywhere from 350 to 500 a day, and that's how that kind of comprises down to like how much you're able to do, for the amount of hours that you're doing. Somebody's asking how many hours you're counting for a day. For me personally, I do a 10-hour day. I work a lot though, so on average, I work about a 14 to 16-hour day. But I don't take this. Don't think you have to do the same thing, because I'm doing many projects and different things, and I'm also running the school and all that stuff. So, yeah, if you're in Sweden and you get 50% taxes, that sucks. But you're also live in Sweden, you're not having to deal with all this crap that we have to deal with in America, which is like you don't have anything and you're screwed if you have a health issue. So, yeah, maybe it's okay. So I know in Europe you guys get reamed with taxes, but it's kind of good. So you guys have awesome living lifestyle. So, but yeah, I would say depending on your ability, if you're a student starting out, I'd say anywhere from about 350 a day to about 500. And the real is you're going up. The highest I've seen for like really high motion designers is like 700 a day. And you got to keep in mind too all the taxes and all that stuff. So yeah, which is a bummer. So yeah, so I would say anywhere in these spectrums, and then you're up where I'm at, which is I would say, I'm just being completely honest and transparent here. I don't know many people that are making 1K a day. I demand that that's what I expect to get paid because of my experience and what I do and how I run my projects and stuff. So it's just my day rate. And depending on the project, I'll be completely honest too. Like a dream studio come to me and they say, hey, we have this really awesome project, blah, blah, blah. We only have X amount to spend. And then I'll go, you know what? I'll break down. I'll go down to $700 or whatever if I have to, because I really want to work on it. But I let my wife deal with all that stuff now. I don't want to deal with it anymore because it's a waste of my time and energy, and she's much better at it than I am, and she can handle that. So hopefully that gives you a good understanding though, and like I said, Andrew and I are going to be we're going to probably come on, he's going to be coming on the Twitch live streams pretty soon, and we're going to be going through all this stuff and kind of breaking it down and getting a concise amount of questions from everybody. And then we're going to be bringing guests on and kind of asking them what they think and stuff, because everybody has a different experience and they have different, price points in different parts of the world and all that stuff. So, but, $350 a day, as a student, pretty damn good. I would, when I first started making that much money, I mean, I was working, I forget where I was working as a designer, like a junior designer somewhere, and I was not making anything near that. I was making like maybe 175 a day once everything added up. So, yeah, so I think, yeah, so that's your spectrum. Okay. So starting point anywhere from 3 to 350 and up to 500. And then, you're at your top of your game for motion designers and stuff, it's around 700. And then, if you're at the very, very top, which is where I'm at, and then like, production designers and stuff, they'll make like 1 to 1.5K a day. and that's, very much like this is, I can't throw any names in here because wouldn't be right for me, but this is like, the very top, I don't know, there's like 2 to 5% from what I understand. And I've worked my way up to this, so, but I'm also doing other things as well. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Right now, I think it'd be a good time to let them know what we're going to be doing in future streams.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, one of the things we're going to do, guys, is just to get you guys more involved and make sure this is being like used for you guys properly, because there's a lot of people are subscribing to this, and it's important that, we're providing you guys with as much feedback as we can. I can sit here all day and like dick around with this kind of stuff, and it's not going to do much good for you guys, I think. I mean, it will, but at the same time, it's not going to be like the most usable thing for you guys. So the one thing we're going to start doing is, John is going to probably be cycling through a bunch of stuff, so I'm not too biased for it, and he's going to just be going through all your guys' homework on this. If you've submitted your homework on the site, then it's going to be, he's going to go through and pick out, like cherry pick basically, and go, oh, this is a cool piece, and this is another cool piece, and this one right here, and it's going to be kind of like a lottery or whatever. And then another thing we were thinking about doing is, if you guys want to, before we do the Twitch stream, maybe we can talk with Andrew and set up something where we can set up a Dropbox for people to drop things into or something. I don't know. So that we can go through it and go like, okay, I'm going to pick this piece. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes going over it. And also what this is kind of like a hint to kind of how it works when you're in my live mentorship, because nothing really beats one-on-one time. We all know it on one time. If you have direct one-on-one feedback time with me, it's going to help you if that's what you're after. If I have one-on-one time with like somebody that I'm really into, or feedback, like if I want to do comics and if I got one-on-one time with like Mignola or something, I'd be like shitting my diapers, so like that's, that's what we're trying to do. So anyways, long story short, we're going to be doing 5 to 10 minute critiques, usually at the start or in the middle of the Twitch stream. And so be on the lookout, babies. Yeah, it's gonna be fun, to just help you guys out. So hopefully that'll work, and we'll have some cool outcomes from it. You guys get better and keep bringing your work, and it's awesome when I hear people taking the class and getting jobs from it. Man, I don't know how to explain it, but it just it gives me like an emoji smile, and it gives me like emoji hearts all day long. It's cool.
Yeah,
that's our goal.
Going back to that, somebody's asking like, what is his homework, where to submit and stuff.
Okay.
You have to be the member of the Learn Squared courses, or at least one of the tiers. You could take the basic one, be a part of our Slack channel and community, and then by uploading to our website, we have a student homework uploader on our website where our students just share their work, and that's where we're going to be selecting the homework from there and stuff. So
yeah,
that's just to be clear.
Yeah, you have to, if you're going to submit your homework, you have to be a part of Learn Squared. And that means that you have to be a student on the platform. Once you're a student on the platform, you can access all the stuff that you need to. You can have, and you have lifetime access to it too as well. And also, like John said, there's Slack channel and stuff. But there is the rare few of you that might not be on there. And if you want to show your work, maybe there'll be a chance that you'll be in a lottery, and we'll just pick through it and find your work. And if you can't afford it and all that stuff, I totally understand. And I don't want to alienate you if you need some help. But I don't want to also, alienate any of the students that have paid and all that stuff, because it's a whole thing. It's an ecosystem that we're building here, like as much as I care and give and I do my best, you guys all know, like the Collective Podcast is something that Andrew and I do. It takes a lot of time and effort. But a lot of this stuff has to have return on time, because the stuff that I'm doing with you guys takes time away from clients and family stuff. So it's got to have some kind of, return on the investment. I'm being completely transparent here too. So, yeah. Yo, cool. I think we have, let's see, we have 6 minutes or so? But yeah, that was one of the things we wanted to talk about. So, probably next stream we'll probably start implementing that, doing like live critiques and stuff. And you should join those, no matter what. Even if it's not your work, you can see, you can probably see a lot of things familiar in your own work and your shortcomings, as we go through it. So
Yeah, I know Mache is going to start tomorrow, so
Okay, there you go. Yeah, and Mache does great critiques too, and he's very explicit and like really focuses on things and stuff. So yeah, I wouldn't miss that as well. So, and then again, as I said, it's kind of like a look into the mentorship too, which I think how many seats are available? Do you know, John? And I think the mentorships for I opened up a couple more seats for main title design. That shit sold out like in an hour. But
yeah, I
the
can't see the seats open.
okay, maybe Andrew will know, but I think main title design. I think we have a couple more seats open. So if you're interested in learning the UI design stuff, basically like kind of like this stuff that we've been going over. It's all in the classes and stuff. I don't know if I have the images here. New tab. So let's see. Learn squared. Yeah, if you go to Learn Squared and if you go in here to courses, you can see it like this kind of work. These images and stuff. This stuff is the data design stuff. It's very similar to the work that I made for like or.com. If you go here, it's similar to like this project, as I explained. When I came up to class, this project I couldn't share it. I didn't know if I was ever going to share it because it's DARPA. But there's quite a few other projects that I've done that I can't share. But it's what I would consider like data design or UI, but it's like fictitious and abstract data design. So it's more or less problem solving and stuff. But if you can take this class and use these techniques and these things that I've explained and go beyond them, then you can really go and try to make really interesting things. These are like anomalies that would come in your career. You know, when I got this project, they're like, hey, we have this thing, we have this like cybernetic gameplay that's going to happen between these like hackers. That's going to happen. I mean, what the hell? You know, how am I supposed to solve that? You have to really problem solve, and I explain kind of how you do that. My students will attest to that too, like how I break down all this stuff and mind mapping and breaking down the brief and stuff. So, but that all comes in there. So, but yeah. So, I don't know. Is there any other questions? Sorry, this is like a bunch of crazy stuff that's going on in this stream. There's a lot of like Octane stuff, and then I was worried that this was going to happen. I think the next few ones we'll do is I'll kind of have a little bit more of a mission, so I'm not like jumping around all chaotically for you guys. So it makes a little bit more sense. But
Yeah, if you want to like save the questions for like the last 20 minutes or so, and just shoot through those. That way you
yeah,
can work and stuff.
well, I have to kick off here in like well, I'm supposed to end at 2. So that's in 3 minutes. So I have like 10 minutes and I have to go.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Got questions? I'll do them.
This next one says, have you tried animating using Octane, or have you rendered stills only?
Yeah, I have. I'm actually doing it recently. Client project stuff. I can't share it, but yeah, I've been doing quite a bit lately, and it works really good. And I also have a personal project thing that I've been doing that that has a lot of it too. Let's see if I can show you guys some of that. It's really good though. Let's see. Shots. These are all the different shots that I have for it. I forget which one it is. Let me look at my previs. I don't know where it is. It's in here though. It's one of these things. These are this is my own personal project, so this is stuff that I'm doing just to get better at using 3D and stuff. Let's see. Okay, hold on. Let's see, learning like 3D code and all that stuff. These are like Intel stuff. Here, let me open this file. Let's see. There's this. Don't mind this file. It's crazy, a big giant mess. So, but yeah, if I go in here and like, let me just kick this render out. It might take a minute because there's a bit of geo in here. But you can see kind of so. Yeah, and this is something I've been doing with Leo. It's awesome, and he's an old apprentice mentorship student who's really great. We're gonna have a lot of fun building this out. This is more like a project to be done on the free time. Like I said, this is very rare free time. So yeah, and I've done a lot of stuff at DARPA. Who was asking that? I've done quite a few things with them. A lot of stuff I can't really share, unfortunately, but some of the stuff I can. And that was one of the situations, which is really cool. So yeah, it's generating now it's kicking all the geometry. So it's going through all this and stuff, and I kicked out a couple renders of sequences, but I don't know if I can find them. But yeah, they're all. I've actually kicked out sequences and then kicked them to After Effects, and then kicked out the like an MOV or whatever. So yeah. Tips on lighting, man. I don't know. Go and play with it. Really, like try as many different you know things as possible. I personally, my lighting style is all about being very. Here's the scene actually. My personal lighting style is very keeping things very limited. I only like one or two lights. I would say what you should probably do is go and watch films that you love and start to understand really why you love those films. On my desktop in my computer, when I'm watching films or something, I will go and grab screenshots of it, and then I'll sit there and study. Go, okay, how did this light come on? And there's like bounce lights, and like really understanding how the light's working. And a really good director of photography, you'll be able to really see how they're going about making their lights and how everything moves around and stuff. So yeah, but yeah, techniques on lighting is a whole different game, So yeah.
We'll do the last question.
Mm-hmm.
Is are you going to be at OFF by any chance?
Off. No, I won't be there, unfortunately. I won't be there this year, unfortunately. But yeah, maybe you see how it's moving live. See how this is working. I have two cameras, and then I morph them together, so I have two spots that I want. And then if I just hold it here, I'm not using all my cards. I'm not using my slave right now, so I only have the 3 Titans. You can see them going right now. They're working. They're not. It's okay. It's not fast enough. I want faster. It's at 3,000 path tracing, so I could drop it down to like 2,000. You can ask. I could probably do like 2 more questions if there is, John.
Yeah. Just this last one that was written. It says, do passion projects make good portfolio pieces?
Hell yeah, I think so. And I'm all about passion projects, like gives you excuse to learn, gives you excuse to communicate and collaborate with other people. Like Leo and I are doing this project together, just having fun. Where, I'm learning how to do so much stuff with this because it's just completely, it's a new practice for me, really. And it's like learning 3D and like animating and doing all this kind of stuff. It's killer, like I love it. It's a lot of fun to learn. So I think passion projects 100%. The Ghost in the Shell thing was a huge project that was done amongst a bunch of friends, and like I don't know if I could say it, but I can't say it because I think I have NDA, but I may or may not be working on the film. So, and I think that obviously that has a lot to do with it. So I think being passionate about what you do and sharing that passion, people see it and they're all about it. They want to, hire you to continue that passion because they want you to be a part of that. They want to be a part of it themselves, So I think it's essential, So yeah.
2 more questions. Says, what is the best way to get an image from your head to the computer if you're not sure how to create it?
Yes. Well, okay. So that's very complex, but the way to do it, the way I do it, is you go inside your brain. So here's your brain, right? Yeah, there's your medulla oblongata, bam. Your pineal glands bumping right here. Got all this stuff going on. Your ideas will come from your head, and then you need to go and take them into your hand, and then quickly sketch them in a very small, like thumbnail or whatever it might be, and add your notes along with it. So it's like, oh, I have this idea, I want to do this thing, blah blah blah, and you kind of just etch it all out here, and you have all your ideas, and then you go and sketch another one or whatever it needs to be. Keep them really small and just get them out there. And that what this is a memory, kind of like a bookmark. And you're going to want to have a bookmark or a memory that's going to be able to remind you. And then the next step that I like to do is I like to go and take that sketch and set up, like, say, a previs or whatever of what it's going to be. And then I need to write out all the things I need to do. Okay, well, I need to have this, I need to have this, I need to do that, I need to do this, and you do that, and these are all the steps. And then what you do is you go from here, you go and itemize each step. And so let's say, like, it's going to need you to create a pose of form in DAZ. Like, we're using this as an example. Like, she was created in DAZ 3D, which is like this weird program for playing with digital dolls. It's awesome. Yeah, DAZ that ass. So yeah, you go into DAZ and you make some model, and then I go into like Marvelous Designer, make the material. Then I go into Cinema 4D and I do make some quick previs, and then I go into 3D Coat. I go do some stuff here, then I bring it back to Cinema 4D. Then I go and kick it off, everything off to After Effects. And then I kick it off to Vimeo. And then I'm rich. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's more or less like, it's a breadcrumb thing. You have your mind, your idea. Your idea is very important, but an idea without execution is just worthless. So you need to have execution in your plan. You have your idea. You sketch out your ideas, itemize your ideas, get all your ideas out. I'll share some of my sketchbook stuff with you guys, because I know how to draw now. I don't care, because I'll just share the really crappy, horrible drawings that I do, because it doesn't matter. It's not about, for me at this point, it's not about masterpieces. It's not about that. Unless your idea is about having a masterpiece drawing, then yeah, well, have fun with that. But if your idea is about making something big and vast, then break it in here in steps, and then go and execute each one of these steps, and then have your path, and then there you go. Before you know it, you're done. Big things, complicated things. It's like what David says in Prometheus, like big things have small beginnings or whatever. It's just going to be more true when it comes to ideas and creating things. So yeah, I'm sure Andrew will appreciate that Prometheus quote. Yeah, I think yes. Yeah, and yeah, absolutely. Don't get lost in like just searching things or Pinterest and stuff. You need to be action oriented. I think it's really important. You got to have action. Don't wait for it. You got to go and do it. And a lot of the times when I was first starting out, I would get stuck right here, being action oriented, because I didn't want to fail. When you first start out, you're gonna fail a lot, and it sucks because failing, it's a bummer. Like nobody wants to fail. We all want to win and succeed. This whole like everybody's like fail. It's like, come on, dude, really? Like, no, nobody wants to fail. Failing sucks. But it's a part of the equation. What you need to do is embrace the fact that you're going to, because when you're going to start out, you're going to be pretty crappy. We all do. Like it's very rare that you start out and you're pretty good. If you do, you have a early start. You're stoked. And sometimes some people have a really great first start. But you're going to fail through the process of it. Through every step, you're going to fail, and you're going to find things. I'll go into DAZ and I'll think, oh, I have this whole vision. I'm going to do this, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, crap. How do you do that one thing? And I have to go Google, and that's why it takes so long, So, but you really need to be action oriented. It's one thing, like I said, I've known so many people. I've grown with so many people. They had these really cool ideas, but they never did anything with it, and they're just pointless, at that point. So, yeah. Fail that ass, exactly. Yeah, so yeah, fail that ass. But yeah, you're gonna going to definitely
fail that ass.
Fail that ass, yeah, exactly. Learn that ass. But yeah, I think hopefully that works and makes sense, guys. And that's one other thing I was thinking about teaching too, is just how to be action oriented and taking your ideas and then getting them through to the final piece and stuff, because that's something that's really important. I think a lot of people miss, or they don't. It's like it's not educated, it's not taught. Like people won't sit there and explain to you like how this all works and stuff. You got to kind of learn it yourself. Part of it is you learning yourself and how it works, but a lot of it is going through the process of educating yourself and being able to being able to solve your own problems and being able to get yourself to where you need to go and stuff. So it's important. So yeah, the swords are in the way, but yeah, so that's it. This is kind of, like I said, this is like a very small glimpse at a project that I'm working on. It's a personal weird endeavor that's just making weird stuff and learning CGI and trying to get better at it. Yeah, always learning, always growing. So hopefully this was a good one, guys. I think it was a little bit scattered, but I think there's a lot of stuff that we've approached and talked about today that hopefully you guys will be able to take with you and evolve your ideas. The main thing I want you guys to take from this is just take your ideas and you take your drawings and your designs and everything, and you have everything from a very rough sketch, and you go into building these things out. And as you continually go and build things out, there's always these opportunities, and never miss those opportunities, because there's really great, brilliant things around the corner. You just have to have your mind ready to see them and see the opportunity to do so. So um, we'll get into this again some more next week. And again, as we talked about too, as John mentioned, we're going to be doing live critiques too. So if you're a student of the platform, jump in, throw your work up there. John's going to be going through it. So, and if you want to get picked, you guys got to go and give John a kiss, or, you know, flirt with him a little bit, you know, soften the pot, you know, so. But yeah, you know, you guys have fun. Go make some stuff. You know, you guys did a really great job. A lot of people are sharing a bunch of stuff that they were exploring and trying things before I explained this. So now that you kind of know what I'm doing, go away and try some stuff. Even if you're not using Octane, like, I'm curious to see what you're doing and how you're making it. There's, you know, if there's a will, there's a way. I've made a lot of really great things without using Octane. So can you. So yeah, go have fun, play with it. You know, be adventurous, try things, fail, you know, succeed, all that good stuff. Cool.
Awesome.
Awesome, guys. Thank you, John. Thank you, John, for everybody. Give John a big thank you for being here and helping organize your guys' questions.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I'm stoked to be here as well. Thank you for everybody that's been here. There's a lot of people here today, so awesome. And I'm hoping I've answered a lot of your questions. And yeah, we'll be jamming away soon again. Okay, guys. Next week, see you guys on Wednesday at 1 is usually the time we're doing them now. So,
cool.
All right, guys. Later.